am about to tell you the most terrifying carnival story you have ever heard. We're talking about a story that starts with cotton candy and a Ferris wheel, and ends with an entire family vanishing off the face of the earth. Welcome back to Scary Stories. For one town in Ohio, in the summer of 1954, a clown named Victor Lane showed up and started giving kids this one weird gift. A shiny 1954 British penny. It seems innocent, right? Just a weird souvenir. Wrong. This coin wasn't a gift, it was a curse. This is the story of how one family's life was completely destroyed by a single penny. It goes from happy to scary to an ending so quiet and terrifying it will literally give you chills. If you like stories that mess with your head, you have to subscribe because what you're about to hear is insane. The year is 1954. The town is Havenwood, Ohio, and it's one of those super quiet, boring places. So when this carnival called Professor Phileas Fogg's Fantastical Fair showed up, it was a huge deal. And for this one kid, 10-year-old Leo, it was the greatest week of his life. He was obsessed with seeing this one clown, Victor Lane, who had his own little creepy stage. Now, this wasn't your normal happy clown. His smile was just painted on, and it did not reach his eyes. His eyes were super sad and old, and his whole act was just strange. But Leo was totally captivated. At the end of the show, Victor pulls out a handful of coins. "A token," he says in this weirdly deep voice, "to remember the magic." His eyes lock onto Leo. He kneels down and holds out a single glowing copper coin. "For you, my friend." Leo is so excited and grabs it. His dad, Tom, tries to be polite like, "Oh, thank you, but you don't have to do that." Victor's painted smile just gets wider. A 1954 penny, from England, very special. Tom looks at the coin. It's got a lady's head on one side and some dude with a trident on the other. It feels heavy and weird, but whatever, it's just a coin. Leo's mom, Mary, is just happy her son is happy. But as they walk away, she gets this sudden chill. "There was something off about him," she says. Tom just blows it off. "He's a carnival clown, honey. They're all a little off." That night, Leo puts the penny in a jar next to his bed like it's a trophy. But what they didn't know is that they didn't just bring home a souvenir. They invited a nightmare into their house. For the first week, everything was pretty normal. Just little weird things you could ignore. A picture falls down. A faucet starts dripping. Leo starts having nightmares he can't even remember. Easy to explain away, right? But then things got personal. Mary's prize-winning roses just withered and died overnight. Tom, who's a carpenter, has a crazy accident and almost slices his finger off. He's a pro. He never makes mistakes like that. One night, Mary is cleaning Leo's room and picks up the penny jar. The coin is ice cold. Not just cool, but like a block of ice. She freaks out and drops it, and the penny rolls out, making this high-pitched spinning sound that goes on for way too long. The entire vibe of the house changed. But the worst part was the sounds. At night, they'd hear scratching inside the walls, and this creepy, slow clicking sound, click, 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 like a coin tapping on glass coming from Leo's room. Leo completely changes. He stops seeing his friends and just stays in his room. One day, his mom finds him staring at the penny. "What is it, sweetie?" she asks. Leo looks at her totally pale and whispers, "He wants it back." "Who wants what back?" "The clown," Leo says, his voice shaking. "He wants his penny back." Things went from bad to worse, like instantly. The family was doing fine with money, and then suddenly they were broke. Tom gets laid off from his job. Their savings are gone. The car breaks down, the roof starts leaking. It was one disaster after another. The whole house just felt sick. It was always cold, and there was this weird smell, like right after a lightning strike mixed with something disgustingly sweet, like rotting cotton candy. Tom is desperate and finally realizes the only thing that's changed is this stupid coin. He goes to the library to research it, and what he finds is absolutely insane. Okay, listen to this. No British pennies were made for the public to use in 1954. The Royal Mint already had a ton in circulation, so they just didn't make any more. But a tiny, tiny number of pattern coins were made just for internal tests. Official records say only a handful were ever created, and they're all supposed to be locked up in museums. This is one of the rarest British coins on the planet, something a normal person would never, ever see. The coin in his kid's bedroom isn't a souvenir. It is literally an impossible coin. That night, Tom tells Mary everything. The fear is overwhelming. They decide they have to get rid of it. They couldn't sell it. Who would believe this story? Plus, they had a feeling making money off it would make things a billion times worse. Tom grabs the penny, and even he can feel how cold it is. He drives to a bridge and throws it as far as he can into the river. That night they finally slept. The nightmare was over, or so they thought. The next morning, Leo is getting dressed. He reaches into his pocket and feels something small and cold. He pulls it out. It was the 1954 penny. Perfectly dry and shinier than ever. This is when total panic sets in. Tom takes the coin again, drives deep into the woods, digs a 2-foot hole, and buries the penny under a massive rock. A huge thunderstorm hits and the power goes out. They light some candles and suddenly they hear it. Full music, a tinny, messed up version of a carousel song, getting louder and louder until it sounds like it's right outside their front door. Starts sobbing. Mary holds him. Tom grabs a fireplace poker and creeps to the window. In a flash of lightning, he sees his own terrified face reflected in the glass, but right over it is the face of Victor the clown. But he's twisted, demonic. The painted smile is a bleeding slash, and his eyes are just pure evil. They hear the front door unlock by itself. Back away as the door creaks open. The wind is howling, but they can hear footsteps. Slow, deliberate footsteps walking into their house. And that smell hits them, that overpowering, sick stench of rotten sugar. The last thing anyone ever heard from that house was a single, blood-curdling scream. Showed up the next day, the door was wide open. The house was completely empty. No Tom, no Mary, no Leo. No signs of a struggle. They were just gone. The only thing they found was a single, shiny penny, sitting right in the middle of the living room floor. A 1954 British penny. That is the legend of the cursed 1954 penny. It's a terrifying ghost story, but this is where it gets even crazier when you look at the facts. We did some digging, and there are no historical records of a clown named Victor Lane or a Professor Phileas Fogg's fantastical fair in Ohio. The story itself seems to be an urban legend. The most important part of the legend, the penny, is 100% real. The 1954 British penny is one of the most famous rare coins in the world for one reason: it's not supposed to exist. As the story says, no pennies were officially made for circulation that year because of the large number already in circulation. Only a very small number of test coins were ever struck, and almost all of them are accounted for in places like the British Museum and the Royal Mint's personal collection. The idea that one just ended up with a carnival clown in America is basically impossible, and that impossibility is what makes this story so powerful. While the tales of it being cursed are probably just stories, the coin's extreme rarity has led to tons of fakes and myths. Was there a real clown who vanished a family? Almost definitely not. And yet, the legend won't die, because it's attached to a real-life mystery that no one can explain. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Every legend has to start somewhere. You guys think, is this just a crazy ghost story made up because the coin is so rare? Or is it possible that something truly evil happened that we'll never know about? Let us know what you believe in the comments below. And if you want to hear more insane stories like this, share this video, smash that like button, and subscribe to Scary Stories Files right now.